Abby confronts Ian, and crimson lights startles Claire. Kyle is working on a project at the Abbott home when Jack joins him at the lunch table. His son expresses gratitude for returning to Jabot, where he belongs. Jack is completely in agreement. Kyle is shocked that he almost blew up his life. Jack boasts that he changed his ways and returned to them. He wants to concentrate on that. Kyle is appreciative. Jack inquires about his job and if he might be of assistance. After stealing the sunscreen moisturizer from them when he was at Glissade, Kyle gives them a proposal. Claire takes notes at Chancellor while Nikki speaks. She advises her to ensure that Abbott is removed from marketing's correspondence. Claire observes that her grandmother is not feeling well. She had heard that someone from her past was staying at the property. It was Ian Ward, according to Nikki. She had hoped to never see him again because he is terrible. Claire claims that her mother told her to use caution. Nikki claims that no one has tormented her more than Jordan. She claims that he is untrustworthy and a living nightmare. Claire should avoid interacting with him if she ever sees him. Preying on young women is one of his worst crimes. I was only one of countless. When I first met him, I was a teenager. Nikki and Claire both concur that Ian and Jordan are similar. As Esther is frantically leaving Sharon a voicemail to contact her, Jordan enters Crimson Lights disguised. She inquires as to whether she may be of any assistance. The owner of the establishment is not there, Esther explains. She is quite concerned about her, but she is unable to talk about it. Jordan inquires as to if the cops are involved. Is anyone aware of her whereabouts? Danny and Daniel are seated at a table at Society by Abby. Daniel expresses his desire to stay longer to his father. They talk about the police increasing Daniel's security detail and concur that Sharon going missing is unsettling. Tessa informs Abby at the bar that Sharon's car was discovered in the river, but they are attempting to remain optimistic. Has your asthma attack increased? Abby asks. Tessa has never experienced that feeling before. She is amazed that she was saved by the man Mariah despises the most. It's too handy, according to Abby. Nothing you do with Ian Ward can be trusted. Ian listens to their conversation through the window. Daniel is unsure of how to interpret Sharon's departure at his table. For his final performances with Lucy, his father encourages him to take a plane. Danny pushes through Daniel's resistance. Ian enters the room with his Bible in hand and listens in as Abby accuses Tessa of being a snake with an infinite list of transgressions. Tessa is shocked that she was drawn into a conversation with him. What happened to Abby doesn't seem to make sense. He saved Mariah's wife's life by simply being in the right location at the right time. Tessa cannot deny that he saved her life. Ian comes out. I'm very happy that I could save you. Ian tells Tessa he has been praying for Abby and tries to strike up a conversation with her. Although she is appreciative of his assistance, she has questions about his motivations now that she is aware of his true name and background. Ian was serious when he mentioned that she and Mariah are fortunate to have a lovely family. Tessa reminds him that Mariah requested that he avoid their family, and she must do the same. She is supported by Abby, who claims that it is her restaurant. He must depart and never return. Now that Lucy is back to her schedule, Daniel doesn't want to take her out of school, according to Danny. Danny knows. If Daniel felt it would help, he would send her on tour, but he cannot be apart from her ever again. Kyle tells his father he's sorry for taking the formula at the Abbott estate. Jack feels Victor provoked him, and he knows why he snapped at them. Kyle undercut them by doing what he believed would make him more likable to Victor. Jack notes that he discovered a method to enter Victor's deranged thoughts. They must move on as it's nothing to worry about. Kyle needs to know whether he really thought about filing a lawsuit against him. Diane shows up and claims, "But I did, even though Jack didn't." Kyle is horrified. The text says, "Get the Young and Restless newsletter from Soaps. Subscribe to receive daily recaps, spoilers, exclusive interviews, and breaking news alerts delivered directly to your inbox. https://cloud.email.soaps.com/signup." Diane claims that she saw it as a means of reconnecting with them. Kyle assumes he can't hold her accountable for it. Diane acknowledges that she and Jack had different opinions about it, which they exploited to give the impression that their marriage was failing. "Kyle, you broke the law." Kyle apologizes and acknowledges this. Jack indicates that Kyle is returning the merchandise to its proper place because he wants to move on from the situation. They all decide to concentrate on the family's future. As Kyle's mother, Diane has additional things to talk about. She knows that she spent the night there and that he is in a relationship with Claire. She inquires as to whether he intends to discuss this with Harrison. He ought to be aware of their relationship. Nikki continues to share her encounters with Ian Ward with Claire at Chancellor. "He almost ruined me." She goes on to say that his imprisonment gave him confidence, and he returned to frighten them. He has attacked Newman numerous times and even set the Newman Towers on fire. Although nobody was harmed, things could have gone rather differently. Claire is happy that Victor has increased security. Nikki claims that, like he did with Jordan, her husband will stop at nothing to remove Ian from their lives. Claire is happy when Nikki compliments her on her most recent report. "I took advice from the greatest. By the way, that's you." Claire leaves as Nikki asks her to grab them lattes from Crimson Lights. Nikki YNR. Esther is grateful for Jordan's assistance at Crimson Lights, but they are powerless. She orders a triple-shot Americano to go with her oolong tea. Jordan promises to wait outside on the terrace. Jordan sits at the table and stews while viewing pictures of Kyle and Claire on her phone. Jordan hears Claire greet Esther as she enters the coffee shop, and Esther heads into the kitchen. While on tour, Danny and Daniel arrange to make video calls every day at Society. Daniel believes that he and Lucy should attempt to live their lives according to their new normal. And without Heather, Danny thinks. He believes his son is an amazing dad. "I hope you understand my pride in you." Abby and Tessa greet Ian at the door and usher him out. Even though he is aware of his horrible actions, he is prepared to put in the effort to restore the confidence of those he has offended. He is accused of lying by Abby. Ian talks about how much he wants people to forgive him and offer him a fresh start. Before leaving, he inquires as to whether they have heard from Sharon. Tessa responds, "I'm afraid not." Ian prays that God would keep them safe and bless them both. Then he smirks evilly and totters away. Tessa is cautioned by Abby not to become upset with him. Daniel is informed by Danny that he must pick up Cricket and go to the airport. As they both realize that things won't get any easier, he and Daniel embrace. Daniel is happy that they were able to spend this time together. Danny asks him to give him a call and update him. After declaring their love for one another, Danny departs. Kyle informs Diane at the Abbott estate that Harrison loves Claire and that their relationship won't cause any issues. Diane and Jack are concerned that he could view her as the babysitter and harbor aspirations for his parents to reconcile. Kyle is going to speak with his kid. Jack advises him to do it as quickly as possible. Kyle doesn't think waiting is necessary. Will he and Harrison remain there? Diane asks. Kyle attests that this is their residence. Jordan puts her phone aside at Crimson Lights while she hears Claire and Esther discussing her collaboration with Nikki at Chancellor. Esther takes a step back to give Jordan her command. When Claire hears Esther say it aloud, she knows it's Jordan's norm and her head jumps up. Jordan has already hurried out the door by the time she turns to face the terrace. Esther then inquires about Claire's well-being. Scowling, Claire says, "That woman, she places her order after deciding it's nothing. All about her and Kyle is what Esther wants to hear." Claire frowns as she turns back to face the terrace. Abby gets ready to leave society. She instructs Tessa to phone her if Ian Ward returns. Tessa and Daniel then concur that the start of the new year is strange. He acknowledges that he is experiencing some self-pity. "Everyone I care about seems to abandon me." According to Tessa, that makes sense in the given situation. About her asthma attack, Daniel inquires. Tessa is in good physical health. Daniel reflects that she suddenly lost her ability to breathe. Tessa is convinced that there is more to what transpired. Jordan brings the Crimson Lights order back to the motel and says to the closed bathroom door, "Ian, you won't believe what happened. She noticed me." "Chop, chop," she says, referring to the need to move and begin working on the strategy. She knocks and then opens the restroom door while continuing to shout his name. Jordan thinks, "So, you disappeared," after realizing he's not there. She is annoyed that there is no note. "Where are you? I suppose you're out to further your own agenda." When is he going to begin working on her end of the bargain? Claire has just returned to Chancellor when Kyle calls to ask if she's available later. He wants to discuss something with her. She smiles when she finds that he wants to share their relationship with Harrison. When she's finished for the day, she will send an SMS. Claire walks into the office and looks at Nikki, who can see she's upset. According to Claire, a woman at Crimson Lights placed an identical tea order to Jordan's. Nikki apologizes for reminding her of her. Claire claims that while it was done precisely as she had instructed, it seemed a little strange. She is certain that the only thing making her anxious is the news about Ian Ward. Nikki tells her that she won't have to deal with Jordan ever again since Victor will take care of Ian. Jack makes fun of Diane for keeping him in the dark about Claire's overnight stay at the Abbott mansion. Her source, he assumes, is Mrs. Martinez. Given that Claire is Victor's grandchild, Diane questions what they think of her. Although she feels she can manage any challenges from Victor, she prefers her to Audra. "I don't want Victor to target our son once more." "They won't allow that to occur," Jack tells her. They share a kiss after he tells her they must be optimistic. Jordan flashes to warning Claire not to be too kind to her in the motel room. "We are so very, very close, and we have waited so long." She recalls Claire informing her that they were done together because she had ruined her life. Jordan remembers telling Claire that she made a bad decision. Jordan blubbers, sobbing, "Oh God, Claire. How I've been missing you." Getting to my feet and gazing out the window. "Still not back, Ian," she yells. Perhaps she can't rely on him to assist her, she thinks. Perhaps it would be best for her to deal directly with Claire. The latest episode of The Young and the Restless delivered a whirlwind of drama, unexpected confrontations, and a shocking reveal that left fans on the edge of their seats. Abby Newman, no stranger to standing her ground, proved once again why she's a force to be reckoned with in Genoa City, while Claire's life took a surprising turn at Crimson Lights. Abby stands up to Ian. The episode opened with tension brewing at the Newman Enterprises offices. Abby, determined to protect her family's legacy, faced off with Ian Ward, a man notorious for manipulating situations to his advantage. Ian, recently returned to Genoa City, had been causing ripples with his cryptic warnings and veiled threats, particularly toward the Newman family. Abby, however, was having none of it. Ian arrived at Newman Enterprises with an air of arrogance, trying to intimidate Abby into reconsidering her stance on a lucrative but questionable business deal. He leaned heavily on his reputation for cunning and persistence, but Abby stood firm. Her steely resolve was evident as she countered Ian's manipulations with her own sharp wit and unwavering confidence. "You think you can waltz in here and scare me into submission?" "Think again, Ian," Abby declared, her voice steady and eyes blazing. "This is Newman Enterprises, and I'm a Newman. We've dealt with worse than you, and we'll come out on top." Ian, taken aback by Abby's fortitude, tried to maintain his composure but was clearly rattled. He attempted one last jab, hinting at secrets he claimed could destroy the Newman family. Abby, however, didn't flinch. She retorted with a pointed warning of her own, "If you have something to say, Ian, say it. But don't think for a second I'll let you hold this family hostage with empty threats." The confrontation ended with Ian storming out, visibly unsettled by Abby's defiance. Abby's triumph in this moment not only showcased her strength but also solidified her role as a key player in the Newman dynasty. Claire's shocking discovery at Crimson Lights. Meanwhile, over at Crimson Lights, Claire, a relatively new face in Genoa City, found herself at the center of an unexpected drama.